On the Black King side, Langston. On the Black King side, Langston 22. Fast money, women, and my life. My life. So, I'm hitting this chick, Cat, up. She got a boyfriend. And, you know, the ex-Nubian, that's like a sister to him. So, we're basically so-called secret lovers. You know, we're creeping. You know, I'm going to her house when her boyfriend is not there. She's coming over my house. Well, the hood, the little rat hole we stayed in, you know, when, you know, the ex-Nubian is like sound asleep. And we just, you know, getting it on. Now, taking heed, I just want to tell you this. You know what I'm saying? A woman is a woman. A hoe is a hoe. A skeezer is a skeezer. A freak is a freak. And I could be able to differentiate the two. I know how to treat a woman, and I know how to treat a whore. And a whore is totally the opposite from a woman, and a woman is totally opposite from a whore. You see, I dealt with the women that I dealt with because they were weak. They went for any and everything. And I knew for a fact the things that I've done to freaks and whores, I couldn't do to a real woman. And I knew for a fact that at the point that I was at that point in time, there was no way in the world that any woman, no real woman would ever date me. Because I didn't have nothing to offer. My credit score was messed up. Rather low. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a license. I didn't have an apartment. I didn't have a house. I didn't have no real money. I didn't have any money set to the side to save like that. Not no real money. I didn't have no 401k plan, health insurance, anything. So I knew. I picked and chose who I would deal with. Because I knew at that point in time that no real woman would deal with me. They wouldn't. Yeah, you cute. Alright, that's good. But you can't take that to the bank. You can't pay bills with that. And that's the point that I'm trying to make to you all. That yeah, you can date a man that's fine. Built, all of that. Looks, he got the looks from head to toe. Now if he doesn't take those looks and turn them into dollars, you know, like he can model, he can be a fitness trainer, he can be a bodyguard, he can do security. If he's just all about looks, guess what? That's not gonna get you anywhere. Just as well as a woman. If a woman has a fat ass and big tits and she looks good or whatever, and she's not a model, she's not doing anything, her body is not making her money, then guess what? She's useless. You can't take a big butt and big tits and say, I'm gonna pay this with rent, unless she's prostituting. Unless she's renting out her body to pay rent or sliding down a pole. Other than that, it's worthless. And I knew this. So I would deal with women, or rather whores, that just thought of themselves lesser of themselves. So therefore, I'll come in and do whatever I wanted to do. And that's how I went. So that fling was over. I got tired of dealing with her. And I moved on to another hood rat. And I remember I went over this broad's house, man, and I'm not lying, you know, we get it on or whatever. Her little son is asleep. You know, I'm not thinking about no future with her. I'm just thinking about, releasing some of my semen and keeping it moving. Making sure I capture them semens inside that rubber tire. Throw it in the trash, flushing it down the toilet. Right? So I'm in there, I'm in the punani, I'm hitting it up or whatever. The condom breaks and I shoot up the club. I mean, all my semen is just swimming up the river called her vagina, right? I'm laying there and I was like so disgusted with myself because true indeed my life is reckless. You know, I have no type of infrastructure. I have no type of order right now at this time in my life. Even though I knew that my life was in disarray, I knew that eventually I was going to get it together. That I have the potential to get my life back on track and better than ever. But this time I messed up. And this is, I'm saying to myself this, and here we go again. This is another girl that's gonna say she's pregnant, but she probably is, because I literally skeeted. I shot up the club, right? So I'm asleep, and I feel something on my arm. I get up and I'm flicking it off, right? I don't know what it is, right? So I go to her refrigerator because I'm thirsty. I wanted some water, some juice or something. I know she got some Kool-Aid in there. At that time I wasn't a vegetarian. I was a meat eater. So I know she got some Kool-Aid in there. I'm trying to see what a Kool-Aid tastes like. You know what I'm saying? Open up the refrigerator. But before I open up the refrigerator, I turn on the lights, and then just roaches just start scattering everywhere. And I'm just like ducking and everything, because they're on the ceiling, they're on the wall, they're crawling over my feet, my foot, and I'm saying to myself, oh my God, this girl can't be pregnant, because I can't live in these conditions, because I'm the type of person, if I have a child, I'm gonna take care of him or her. I'm gonna be there for the child as well as the mother. And I'm just like, oh man, I can't take this. So the ex-Nubian wound up picking me up. A couple weeks later, come to find out she's not pregnant. I'm like, right? So I move on with my life. We still selling movies, we still selling CDs, and Pretty Ricky, he's calling me and everything. We're talking back and forth, and I'm telling him what I'm going through, and he's like, I don't know what to tell you, And at that time, another thing too is I forgot I had, and I told y'all in the previous video that I had an eviction. And with an eviction, you gotta wait 7 years until that falls off your credit. So I'm messed up in the game. I can't even move into an apartment because I can't get anything in my name. I'm like really stuck. I can't get an apartment. I can't get a car because my license is revoked. And I'm just messed up. I don't have enough money to pay for the tickets in order to get my license back. I don't have no money to pay for the eviction, and even if I did pay for it, it'd still be on my credit for 7 years, right? So we're talking back and forth, and at this point in time, man, Pretty Ricky is like just pretty much trying to get me through, the madness, because he saw me going through everything, and it was crazy. Like we really opened up with one another, and he told me things that that could get him put in jail for life. So I knew that this dude was, his friendship at that time, from then on, was sincere, because I knew his deepest and darkest secrets. I don't even think his girlfriend knew, or anyone at that, except for me. So we're talking back and forth, conversing back and forth, or whatever, and things is going. So we didn't have burners. We were thinking about, me and the ex-Nubian and I, we were thinking about, getting towers and burning CDs and movies and all of that stuff on our own, instead of going back and forth to New York and dealing with everybody. But in the meantime, it was this African dude, he would burn our CDs. Now, I started to sell CDs on the side on my own too, as well. And I wanted to create a business, as far as bootleg business, in order to make extra money, because I eventually wanted to get out of this situation, right? I eventually wanted to walk away from the ex-Nubian and off the hood and the madness. So I was buying CDs from him. The ex-Nubian was buying CDs from him. There used to be a flea market in Raleigh, North Carolina called Watson's Flea Market, right? Right down the street from St. Augustine's College, right? And there used to be a bunch of Africans that sold bootleg movies and CDs. That's all they sold there, bootleg movies and CDs, right? So the African that we were buying CDs from, he would actually burn CDs for them wholesale as well. So we would go over there, and it would be times, man, I mean, like more than once, like just about every time we would go over there, and the African dude, he would be burnt out, like, because he had to like burn thousands of CDs every day. And the way he had it set up in his apartment, he had the towers and all of them were connected. So they would kick out CDs every 5 minutes. So it'd be like 10, 20 like slots, kicking out CDs, and he had to put them in the cases, make CD covers, put them in a stack for this particular person, and then this particular person over here, that was his stack, and it was just ridiculous, right? And he didn't really have any help like that. So I was saying to myself, you know what, maybe I could help him, and he could hit me off with a couple of dollars, but I never asked him, anything like that, so we kept on going over there, and he would just get burnt out. It'd be times where we'd be like, yo, we need 500 CDs, and he would only give us 200 because he had to go to sleep or whatever. So to make a long story short, this African had a brilliant idea. I thought it was the dumbest idea on the planet, the stupidest idea. I've never heard of this story that I'm about to tell you ever in life, ever. But anyway, he had this brilliant plan that he was gonna smoke crack to stay up 24 hours, 7 days out of the week in order that he can fulfill orders. Now I'm saying to myself, this guy's crazy. He's basically saying he wants to smoke crack so he can stay up. So he started smoking crack, and I'm not lying. We used to go over there, and he would be like, yo, the ex-Nubian had the hook up or whatever, and he would give him some crack, and it worked because, he didn't really charge us. So one particular day we go over there, and I've never seen him smoke crack, never. I just knew that when we used to go over there, he was high, right? And he was like alert. He was alert, like up, like times 10, right? Just burning CDs like this, boom, 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 right? So one day we go over there. It's late, we want to pick up our order or whatever, and I see him, he's smoking the crack in the crack pipe, right? And I don't know if you ever smelled crack smoke. It smells like death. It smells like formaldehyde. It stinks. It has a real distinctive smell. And it was messing my head up. Like the smoke was messing. I had to walk out, right? The ex-Nubian stayed in there. I was like, yo, I can't do it. I can't take it. I'll walk out, right? So I saw that Pretty Ricky had called me. It was a missed call. So I called back. And I don't think he picked up. He had called me back, right? And he was like, I just want to let you know, I'm over this female house. You remember the female that I told you about? I'm like, nah, because Pretty Ricky, of course, he going through females. I can't keep up with him. You know what I'm saying? His numbers is like football game numbers. It's like Chicago, 56. Redskins, 0. and Pretty Ricky is Chicago. He's going through football numbers, right? So Pretty Ricky, he's doing football numbers and everything. So he's like, well, the female that I'm talking about. Remember the story I told you? I was in the hotel, and I was banging it out, and I was hitting it from the back, and I decided to put my joint up her butt. And when I did, she said, "Ooh, my ass." And I said, yeah, I remember that broad that you was talking about. He was like, well, anyway, I'm over her house, and I'm in the hood. I just want to let you know, because I definitely can't call Tanya and let her know where I'm at. So, he's like, it's some dudes in the front of the house, and he's paranoid. He don't have no burner. He don't have nothing on him. He naked. You know what I mean? He don't have nothing on him. So he's thinking like, the broad that he's dealing with, he, creeping out with, that, possibly she's trying to set him up or whatever. So to make the long story short, I told him, yo, do you need me to, try to make it down there somehow, some way? And he was like, nah, I try to do the best I can. So, got off the phone with him. I wound up going to get the ex-Nubian. We go home a couple hours later. I don't know if it was later that night or just the next day. Pretty Ricky called me and said, he was all right, right? So, we continue to buy CDs from the African, and we would go over there, and it would just be worse. You know what I'm saying? He had a little crackhead friend with him, and they were burning CDs, and it just got to the point where the African dude, he slowed down with the CDs, and he was smoking more crack than anything, right? So he would rent out his car to different drug dealers and other people, right? For crack. So one day he rented out his car to somebody. The dude never came back with the car, right? So now the African is pissed off. He's became a part-time bootlegger and a full-time crackhead, right? So he's like just flipping now. Wait, my car? He stole my car, right? So, not making this up. One day we go over there. We needed our CDs. He probably had like about 100 CDs done out of the 500 or 600 we asked from. So it was like right then it clicked with the ex-Nuwa being like, yo, we got to get our own burners because this dude has literally turned into a crackhead, right? Make a long story short, a couple days later, the African winds up getting his car. The dude took the car and told and was like, yo, you sold the car to me. They get in a fight. The African shoots and kills the dude. And now the African is in jail for murder. And I couldn't believe it. I've never seen or heard of an African crackhead ever in my life. But that was the first. Stay tuned. My name is Langston.22. I want you to like, comment, subscribe, share, and have a nice day.